Circus parades are always fun, so have one today. Who would you like to be? A lovely white circus pony, prancing and dancing in time to the music? A clown making funny faces as he hobbles along? Or a lion tamer looking brave and strong? Make your choice and be ready. It's time for the circus parade to begin. Lion tamer, looking brave and strong. Circus parades are always fun, so have one today. Who would you like to be? A lovely white circus pony, prancing and dancing in time to the music? A clown making funny faces as he hobbles along? Or a lion tamer, looking brave and strong?
And hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of Gaffing the Truth. My name is Jeff with a G, and I'm with my really good friend, Scabs the Clown. How's it going, Scabs? Hey, just give me 2 seconds. I can hear you, but the people can't. And I know why they can't hear you, because I'm an idiot. And they can only hear me say that, not you guys. There we go.
And
now
we figured out today's episode. This is totally all about Jeff being an idiot.
Yes.
No, that's true. That's usually most episodes. That's fine. Me being the weird technologically marvelous
to be fair,
idiot.
We're both idiots on most episodes.
Also true. That's why people don't tune in, is because we're idiots. But today we want to talk about something fun with a good friend of ours. We've actually talked to this guy before, and here's the weird thing. And so I'm going to tell this before I introduce him properly. So we had him on the show before, because today we're talking about like weird internet shit. I don't want to say conspiracies, because that's not really true, because we're not going to be talking about QAnon and all the deep state bullshit. We're talking about other weird things on the internet, which is why I like to say weird internet shit instead. So when I went to go to download that episode for me to have on our archives and redo, I couldn't find it. It's like it went away, like it never existed, like a weird internet conspiracy. So we're gonna try this again. I don't even remember what we talked about because it was months ago. So even if we talk about it again, but fuck, I don't remember. Anyways, let's bring our great friend Phil Screamer. How's it going, Phil Screamer?
Hit the dab, the dead memes.
There you go. Yeah.
It's going good, man. It's going good. Last time we
Good.
talked about the sonic noise for cash registers at gas stations.
That's
I
right.
was,
Yeah.
I was telling Joe about that today, and that just blew their mind. Like, I was like, yeah, the Sonic. They're like, what? It is what?
And then there was another thing we talked about. I can't remember. It got pretty dark.
It was like the girl's name.
I can't remember.
Me neither.
We
I wonder
talked
why.
about a
What's
weird.
going on with our memory, guys? Weird.
Dude, I don't know, man.
I
it's
have no
crazy.
idea what's going on.
But we're here to talk about new things.
Yeah, at least new to us.
Yeah, I mean, like you're knowledgeable on this subject. That's why we have you on for this. But
Yeah.
like I found some of the older ones because it was so hard when I looked up internet-based conspiracies, conspiracies online, things like that. All I got was Deep State, Pizzagate, and QAnon. That's all I could find, just like doing a regular Google search. But I found some cool ones that like kind of like were
what's weird,
the birth of the online conspiracies.
Yeah, but what's really interesting is state because when we last time did this, I think it was probably August. I think that sounds
so.
right. It was a lot easier for us to track down internet conspiracies because this is well before the election and stuff like that, and just like the SEO went into overdrive when it came to all that QAnon bullshit after that. So
Yeah, QAnon's a huge thing. It's all
just like when we did the Hadron Collider, like all we could find stuff about was like there's no hoaxes, there's no bad stuff here. Google was flooded with stuff like that because they were trying to like put out different like stories, different websites that were saying, hey, look over there, nothing's bad, nothing's going on here.
If you bombard the media with non-truths, how do you find the truth?
See, exactly. That's the conspiracy in itself. That's what we're here to figure out.
or something.
Yeah. Well, since we're here, I'd love to get into our first topic. I'm actually
Sure.
very excited about it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say you're very excited about this one. Like you asked
Dude,
me to do this one first and everything. No, I'm very interested. I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go straight into. So we have the internet, and then the under internet and the dark web. So let's go to dark web. Let's talk about red rooms. Red rooms are a huge internet conspiracy. In layman's terms, a red room is essentially an on-screen torture room. They are mostly hosted on low-quality streaming sites on the dark web, and they are pay to view or pay to interact. And there actually hasn't been one that is with video evidence and stuff like that. They don't actually exist. A lot of people will tell you that they do, but let's be real. Even if you use Tor browser and hide everything, you can still get traced. So people aren't stupid. They're not going to actually, show murders live on the internet and live stream them, let alone take payment for them. But there are a lot of good stories about them. And my favorite story about a red room is, I'm going to use the wrong terminology. Let's say it's an Arabic red room. And it was essentially a terrorist that was captured. And they were going to, extremists. I apologize. Extremists. They were going to behead him live on the internet. And I use air quotes. There were people, and this is obviously, Reddit reported on this, other websites reported on this. There were people that reported paying $10,000 to see it, up to $10,000 and such. And there was a countdown timer for about 5 days. Well, when that timer hit 0, there was a giant black flash on the screen and then a 404 error, which if you know anything about the internet, 404 means this website doesn't exist. So tons of people, terrible people that obviously wanted to watch this, got scammed, and that's all it is. It's a huge
That's
scam.
good. That was
But
good.
it's fun because the people, I feel like personally, the people that want to see this stuff and are interested in this stuff should be scammed because there's no reason to watch that stuff. Like, why?
Especially when you can get like, okay, this is totally aside, is so people who are tried by governments of such quote unquote extremist nations, as we try to keep this stuff vague, uh, uh, they'll televise that shit normally. So I don't understand why you have to pay money to a thing that you can watch
Mhm.
on TV. I mean,
Well,
literally, I know for a
see, like
fact
I get
that
what you're saying because it's recorded live, and I'm sure if you can interact, then you can be like, it's kind of like the movie Hostel. So like you pay, you can control
Absolutely.
what's going on. So like a dude, like if he's online and it's like, all right, now like poke her in the eye with your pinky nail, or like cut off her nipple or something like that, or punch that guy in the dick. That's what they're paying for, to be able
it's
to interact with
OnlyFans
it.
for it's
This is like
OnlyFans for
this is the new
assholes.
wave snuff film.
Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of them are advertised as that way. Hostel was an okay movie, but there are
It was
things that
torture
happen like
porn.
that.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's if you wanted like like a plot, like don't go see Hostel. Like
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
just torture porn.
If you want to see some naked girls and then some dude getting his Achilles heel severed, that's your movie right there.
Yeah, totally.
But if you want like Romeo and Juliet level of like plot, not there, not there.
No.
But yeah, that's a big thing with the red rooms is the interactivity, the supposed interactivity of being able to pay X amount of dollars and you can control what's happening. You can control when it quote unquote ends, and ends obviously mean ending
Yeah,
their life,
I've
But
I've I've heard about stuff like this before, like in a different sense, where like they didn't use like live video. It was people would say, "Hey, I want to see you kill a person like this. Here's X amount of money," and the person would do it and still like put it on a VHS tape or a DVD, so it's untraceable. And
yeah, which snuff films, this is getting into a weird part. Snuff films do exist, but at the same time, snuff films don't exist. Snuff films don't really exist on the internet as we know it, but snuff films do exist on physical media.
I've totally seen videos of dudes getting their heads cut off with chainsaws, and people being pushed off buildings, and
But
I've
that's not
seen some like shitty fucked up videos like that.
sure, and you can watch that all day live, all day long on like Daily Motion or live.vr or whatever. But those aren't necessarily snuff films, because if you look at the definition of a snuff film is for, to put it in layman's terms, it's torture and death for the entertainment of the audience. Whereas, with a beheading, it's not for entertainment. It's spreading a message.
Yeah, sending a message is a threat. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
it's like, hey, these guys, like the cartel videos are wild. Like, it's like, hey, these guys fucked us over. We're gonna cut this dude's throat with a knife, and hit this dude in the neck with a chainsaw, and we're gonna cut this dude's head off with a pocket knife and shit. Like, yeah, I've seen some pretty intense videos like that.
Yeah.
Like, rotten.com back in the day.
Rotten.com. Yep. Faces of Death back in the day,
Yeah,
stuff
Faces
like that.
of Death. Like, shit, we used to be able to go to the fucking video store and rent Faces of Death. Like,
which is wild. That is like, go to the Blockbuster. What do you have? Faces of Death. Also, I want to get Zach and Mary make a porno at the same time.
Yeah, right. See, but like Faces of Death, like a lot of those were fake, or it was like the aftermath of a car accident or something. There was one we found called Traces of Death that was straight up just wow, fuck.
Oh,
like people
I'm not
like trying to, like dudes
I'm
like
not a huge gore
like
fan.
military kicking a door open, and a guy tried to run out with a gun and just like straight up shotgun to the chest. They just video of him like just dying on the ground, like wild shit. Skydivers like falling to the ground or hitting power lines. Like I remember like these crazy ass just death videos. And we got it at like there's just a video store down the street. Like it wasn't even Blockbuster.
Yeah, I'm not a huge gore fan myself. I
used to be, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
It was one of those like I wanted to be the edgy kid and watch crazy videos, and now I'm just like I don't want to watch a dude die. I just want a guy fall off his skateboard, like
yeah. But yeah, and things like that, it just back in the day when we were younger and just exploring the internet, I feel like it was the thing to do. Oh man, check out this. This dude gets like chopped in
But
half by
that's
a
the early days of
helicopter.
the internet. It was just like porn and like not much social media yet. Just like LiveJournal and fucking
Yeah, you just wanted to
I
go
feel
see
like
stuff
DeviantArt,
that you
shit
weren't
like that.
allowed to see. So whatever it was, because this is a thing I'm not meant to see. So whatever it was, whether it was porn or some weird cartel video beheadings and shit like that, shit you're not meant to see. It's the precursor to things like 8chan and the fucking
Yeah, I
Wild
think I
West that
saw
fucking shit is.
the Saddam Hussein hanging video on steakandcheese.com. Like,
But I feel like that's the progression of the internet, especially I don't want to get into this topic, but I'll just mention it. Censorship on the internet is a huge thing nowadays. And, I'm not a huge fan of it, but sometimes it's needed. So I feel like they're definitely progressing and moving more towards a safer browsing experience for everybody. But at the same time, website, you see some stuff and they're still there.
yeah,
But they're
that's
not
why
on
I
that
stopped getting on
surface web.
4chan.
Yeah.
Because I got tired of like just seeing like kid dicks and stuff. And it's like, this website.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We don't support that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck those people.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was always misleading topics, and you're a teenage boy. And it was like hot, big-breasted woman sucks dick and comes out the back of her head. Cool, you click on it, and it's a naked child. It's like, God damn it, fuck you. Like,
yeah. Now I'm on a list. The FBI is knocking on my door. This is weird.
I didn't mean to look at it. I swear.
Yeah. I feel like 4chan always had that thing though, where it was like 4chan is a great place for knowledge in a way, but it's knowledge about shit that you will never need to know.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, and without 4chan, we wouldn't have QAnon, another internet conspiracy thing. But we're not getting to that. We can do another episode on that now that we've come out about QAnon. But like that won't. Yeah, that'll be later. Not
that's
today.
Gonna be an 8-hour episode.
Oh my god, dude!
And that's just
there was already a great documentary about it. I feel like we're just going to talk about the documentary the whole time if we do.
That's going to be 90% of the thing we talk about QAnon now, since the documentary's come out, is talking about the shit that we learned while watching the documentary. Chris broke into the chat. He first off, he's like Crush films are a thing that does a thing that exists.
Crush is definitely a thing.
Yeah, and then it says internet in the 90s, porn, death, facethejury.com, and a cat playing the keyboard.
Yes,
that is a summation of the entire 90s experience of the internet right there.
Don't forget terrible long download times.
Oh yeah.
I waited 30 hours of this 11-second video of a guy getting stabbed.
Oh, yeah, everything's to the phone. The fucking phone modems.
Oh God, I miss that sound so much.
Yeah,
50K all day
for a little while.
Well,
just the dial-up sound.
Yeah, dude, it was.
How about we
burned into
bring
my
it
brain
down just a little bit? And we can take it right back up after this. But since I found like some of the little ones, like just with the beginnings of the internet, where these conspiracies were able to be shared and people know about it, was so a number of old paintings in high contrast, low resolution, daguerreotypes, kind of sort of like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, Michael Cera, Dinklage, Eddie Murphy, and most of all Keanu Reeves. So there's paintings that look exactly like these people. And people are like, okay, so that's John Travolta, but that painting is from, 1836.
Yeah.
So they feel that a lot of celebrities are actually just vampires.
I can get down with that. I could totally get
down. Conspiracy theory on the internet is so innocent.
I mean,
like I've seen too, old ass painting from the 1700s, and it's like from France, but it's like that's Keanu Reeves with a mustache,
Or referencing, there's a really good picture of Time Traveler. It's called Time Traveler, I want to say. There's a guy in a crowd. It's very old. It's black and white, and he has goggles on. Yeah, I know you. He's
got like sunglasses.
Like
he's got a camera in his hand, and he's got he's got like a printed T-shirt and shit.
Yep. And he's just in the crowd.
That one was actually debunked.
Yeah,
I found it. The T-shirt was just becoming a style at the time. It was from some sports team, and he just had wide sunglasses, and like they debunked it, like, you know, with everything. But still, I don't believe him. Fuck those guys. He was a time traveler.
I mean,
But I have seen the
just,
one of the video from like, it's like from the 70s, and a woman looks like she's recording this thing in, you know, Monterrey, Mexico, like a dance
Yep.
party thing, and she looks like she's recording it on her phone sideways, and then she actually turns it the other way and looks at it like, you know, she recorded something. But this is like when, you know, personal cameras just came out.
Yeah, and they did have screens, and you could actually look through a viewfinder and see what you saw. But you know, I'll bring it back to that photograph of as it's called, Time Traveler. The fact of knowing a little bit about cameras and resolution, he looks a lot higher resolution than the crowd around him, and that definitely leads me to Photoshop, like just him.
Yeah, it's like superimposed, like. But also, I'm wondering if people are just trying to point him out by lighting up that part of the picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's still doctored in some way, but still.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it definitely creates a conversation piece, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Mm. So, okay, another one real quick. Another just, you know, some that, you know, it's still caused a lot of arguments, heartfelt stuff, and we all know different ones. We all feel it. I'm sure we all have different opinions on some of these, but the Mandela effect.
Ooh.
That, like, you know, that was one of the early, like, conspiracy theories that, like, everybody got behind. Like, literally, the entire internet got behind the Mandela effect because of Berenstain Bears, because of Fruit of the Loom, because of Mandela himself. God, there's so many more. But yeah, like, do you remember the Fruit of the Loom logo?
I remember it having fruit, and I followed the Berenstain Bears one, and I followed the Mandela passing away, but he didn't really pass away thing. I didn't really follow the Fruit of the Loom one, so please educate me.
Okay, I remember it said Fruit of the Loom. It had a cornucopia and the fruit.
Yes.
Never had a cornucopia.
My underwear from the 90s says differently.
You still got it? Like,
what are you trying to buy them? I mean, maybe.
I mean, well, we'll talk after the chat about that.
Yeah. This is a non-monetized show.
I remember the commercials back in the day in the 90s of like the dudes dressed like the fruits. Yeah. And they would come out and talk about underwear, and they would walk out of a cornucopia. I remember
that's where, yeah, that they did walk. Okay, like that live stuff that they did have I think they did do a commercial, because I have a weird memory about remembering shit like this as far as any sort of like media like this. But yeah, they did come out of a cornucopia in the commercial. But yeah, the actual cornucopia on the actual branding, like on your tag for your tidy whities, did not have the cornucopia.
I can't screen share, but I have it pulled up.
Though.
I have it pulled up right now, and I can look at this cornucopia versus their regular one, and I definitely remember the cornucopia.
We all remember that sort of stuff. But the thing is, they had stuff all surrounding it with their ad campaigns, but never on their actual logo. So you might have seen an ad campaign with the cornucopia, but not on their logo. There's a difference.
And that's fair. Like I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a million reasons as to why. But like, okay, so Berenstain or Berenstain?
Berenstain.
Steen.
I was born in '88.
Man,
it was Berenstain.
I remember the videos that we watched, like of the Berenstain Bears, and they said Berenstain. I would have made fun of them if it was Berenstain. I would have laughed at Stain. I know myself as a child.
Yeah. So y'all just talked about the Hadron. Let's bring this full circle. Do you guys believe that the Mandela effect is because of the Hadron Collider? That the fact that it brought us into a different reality?
Or the fact is we have many different, basically is like, because every time it hits, it changes the reality. That's why we have different, like, that's why the Mandela effect is never consistent with everybody. It only hits certain people certain ways. It's an interesting theory. Although the science really doesn't.
The one that like I found I'll never find again. It actually happens when all of the planets align, or when certain planets align. It brings up like a certain force, and some people are switched into a different reality. Same exact things going on. They have all the same memories, but things are different. I've only found that one once, and that was a really fun conspiracy theory, but I've never been able to find it again. I looked for it earlier too.
I like to think that, although, believe it or not, that whole Hadron Collider thing got co-opted by Trumpers. That's why Trump kept misspeaking about stuff. Is because he was remembering alternate timelines.
Yeah, I feel like that's a rabbit hole that just leads to QAnon immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like
Everything that we talk about is going to lead to QAnon somehow.
Oh, that's some really good SEO, man.
I
I'm just
I even
saying.
said that like in the beginning of like 2020 with COVID and everything else. I was like, I'm fine with all my friends who have always been conspiracy theorists, but if you just became a conspiracy theorist, now we
like you joined the bandwagon too late. The wagon's already left. Like you're running to catch up at this point.
yeah.
And
you're picking up on the worst one, man. Come on, just like let's talk about flat Earth or something, please. Hollow Earth, anything. Yeah. You know, moon's not real. No. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
We didn't land on the moon.
Cool,
yeah.
great.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
Politicians eat babies except for Trump. Trump's gonna save us. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
Ha ha! Conspiracy tourist posers. Very true, Chris Broken.
Yes. Yes. Well, let's talk about something that can't lead down to QAnon. Let's talk about, if you guys watch the video,
I'll find a way.
worlds.com. Did you guys get to watch a little bit of it?
I watched.
I didn't have a chance to watch it, man. I really want to hear about it though.
That's fine. Okay, so Jeff, you actually got to watch a little bit of it.
I watched part of it. Yeah.
Okay. So in 1995, a website was created, worlds.com. It was one of the first MMO, massively multiplayer online games. It was kind of browser-based, kind of software-based, but it was essentially the earliest versions of Second Life and VR chat.
Okay.
It would be today's comparisons. But it took off, it shot off, it was really well done. Users could create their own worlds with the World Shaper. It was just a way to escape, where everybody was playing on their consoles with their N64s and stuff like that. People could actually play with it on a very low spec computer. It only took a 90 megahertz processor and 32 megahertz of RAM, which was nothing. It's, that's like a pin drop to us today. But it was essentially kind of open world, and you just logged in and were able to chat with people and watch movies with people. And they did a couple like virtual concerts and stuff like that. Obviously terrible quality sound and all that, but up until 2010, it kind of, the user base left, as better things like World of Warcraft, RuneScape and stuff like that came along, better graphics, better user interaction. But even up until 2019, the website is still active, and there is a belief that is kind of actually backed up that it is only up right now for cult recruitment. So there are two key players. There is I'm gonna get this wrong. Gymnast, I think his name is. It's Jim something, I can't remember. And then Necrophagist, I believe it is. So Necrophagist is, yeah, right.
Corpse fucking.
It's next something.
Or no, corpse eating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's next. Anyways, his name is next something. But essentially, the person that is that avatar would like to greet new users, and they would essentially tour you around the worlds inside of the game, but they would sometimes take you to the darker places with satanic and violent images, and they'd go, oh, this is just part of it, don't worry about that. And then at the end of the tour, they would say, oh, would you like to join us, kind of thing. But it wasn't really a forceful tactic. It was more just, hey, if you want, we can teach you more about the game and teach you what we kind of do. Whereas Jim, I'm just going to refer to him as Jim. Jim was on the opposite side of that, and the worlds that he created into the game, you had to actually upload a selfie, or as they called in the back in the day, a mugshot of yourself, unpixelated everything, and essentially give your personal information to this guy to join his world. And then from that, you would be in the world, and he would subject you to, I believe it's 32 different rooms inside of this world, and each one of these rooms has personal information from another person, as well as let's put it as risque photos that he received from those people, that he would just allow everyone to look at. And then after a while, he would ask for risque photos of you to continue your membership into the world. So it was kind of almost like a self-feeding cycle, where he would get one person and that one person would get two, and then he'd get risque photos of that one person, and the one person next to him would give the risque, and it would just kind of build from there. But it kind of developed into a cult in a way, of Jim being this guy that controlled the people that were on his world, and he controlled them by having their personal information, as we call doxing today, but just having actual pictures and photos of your face and your name, and not necessarily your address or anything, but with a picture and a name you can find an address very quickly, even back then. So it developed into that, from this just fun little game that allowed you to, it was like an AOL chat room with video, essentially, in a game. And up until even in 2019, I can actually try to access it right now, and let's see if it's still on. It is absolutely online still, worlds.com.
Wow.
And it is not upgraded graphics or anything. It is very low quality avatars and stuff like that, but that is one of my favorite rabbit holes. Just being able to take that low quality software and control people in a way at that time, 94, 95, when the internet was still a baby. Having that mindset is interesting to me, as far as control goes. But yeah, it's I'll shout him out. Nexpo on YouTube does a great breakdown video of it. It's called Cult in a Dead MMO, if you want to go research more about it. But yeah, that's a fun one. It's a good rabbit hole to go down, and it is interesting, to say the least. It's not too dark or anything, but it is very interesting.
I mean, that's pretty wild that you can, like, I don't know.
It's
they
a lot.
know, like, people know they're going to, like, be exposed like that. I'm sure some of them are into it, but still.
And 4chan, when it was posted on 4chan, information about it, of course 4chan immediately, you saw a huge login upswing and a bunch of new players, and they went around, so it kind of went silent at that point. But there's video and screenshots of stuff that has to do with it. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's definite evidence that this is a real thing and this happened, and it might still be going on. The cult aspect, as far as the general word cult of following a leader to the T, it doesn't really fit, but it's definitely a person that is controlling other people through a software.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an interesting one.
I guess, like, I understand it, but I have a hard time understanding it because I don't have, like, that cult mentality. Like, there's obviously a lot of different psychology why people join cults or do things like that. It's for approval, for kinship, for for a lot of different reasons. But since I don't have that, like, I just I can make friends and meet people, and I know people, and I have a good relationship with my family. I don't need a cult. So, like, that stuff always boggles my mind. I love cults.
What's your favorite cult ever?
Shinrikyo.
Okay. Mine is
Do you know that
definitely.
one?
I know vaguely about it. Mine is breatharianism. Let's see.
Presbyterianism. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I love that you
Mhm.
guys know what that is because
That is
Dude,
some crazy,
Chef's
crazy
kiss.
bullshit. Yeah, that's
yeah.
some
Oh,
crazy, crazy bullshit.
let me just go into this real quick. So breatharianism, just for people that don't know, it is I'm going to use this term lightly, a cult following of people
Mhm.
that believe that they can live on air alone,
Yeah.
just air, no
Yeah.
food.
They don't eat. They don't drink.
They drink a little bit. They can have water. I believe it's like
Oh,
two
they can
ounces.
have
Of,
water
yeah,
because there's air in it. Yeah.
yeah. They have like I want to say like 2 or 3 ounces of water, which is absolutely nothing. It's like this much
Yeah.
of a water bottle, but they have like two or
Yeah.
three
Considering
ounces.
when I take a drink of water, I chug half a bottle. Yeah, that's nothing. Like,
Oh yeah, but yeah, there's great documentaries on it if you want to check it out. Breatharianism, it's amazing. There are people that have died practicing it, obviously, which is very sad,
mm-hmm.
but people make their own decisions, and it
Yeah.
is what it is. But yeah, so I believe that this. I mean, I feel like cults kind of go with the internet. What? Explain to me about yours.
What? Shinrikyo?
Yes.
Shinrikyo was started by a quote unquote charismatic. It was actually the first internet cult, basically.
Ooh.
Um, they advertised in a lot of like Fangoria and like nerdy magazines and stuff, and it was join the I forgot the original name of it, but it was the Anointed Mountain Wizards or something like that. And if you wanted to achieve true enlightenment, you had to buy Shoko Asahara's the leader of the cult. You had to buy his nail clippings. You had to buy his bath water. You had to sleep with him. All kinds of shit.
So
Basically,
he
they
was
would
the
like bring in
original
entire
Belle
families into
Delphine.
this cult. It was a nerd based cult. They preyed on nerds, and they brought them all in, and they were like, yes, you have to do these weird, crazy things, but also we're not going to tell you that we're going to drop 17 hits of acid in this cup of tea that you're about to drink. And then you're just stuck
Okay,
in a room with Asahara, and he's like explaining shit to you. And they're the reason for the sarin gas attacks in Japan on the subways.
that's why I remember. Okay, that's the one. Okay, so I'm gonna go. You saying bathwater just fries my brain cell because I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Are you guys familiar with Belle Delphine?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so we know she
I've
sold her
laughed at a lot of
bathwater.
people who were into Belle Delphine. Yes.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna put this out here, and selling bathwater and having the following that she does. To me, it's like you saying that about the. I want to pronounce this correctly. What is it? What's the cult's name? I'm sorry.
Shinrikyo.
Shinrikyo. Okay, having a follower, having a god, if you will, that sells bathwater and this huge following, you can almost compare that to today's Delphine. Now she's obviously not using that power per se, but like it's definitely interesting, and you can draw similarities to that, and that just interests me that
Yeah, but
with influencers
Shinrikyo
like
or
that.
Shoko Asahara, he was making way more money than Belle Delphine did because
Oh,
it
I'm
was like
sure.
$500, and it was supposed to give you like telekinesis, and you could levitate, and you'll attract any lover you want. Like there was all these fucking things about it. The most in depth, like I could send you like shit to read about it, but like honestly,
I'm
Black
actually on the
Podcast
Wikipedia
on the
right
Left
now, just
did a
looking at it.
great series about it.
Okay, I'm actually on the Wikipedia right now, just kind of like skimming over it, just looking at it, and this is interesting.
No,
So they
it's
were a
really
doomsday
Seriously.
cult. Okay,
yeah.
all the good cults are doomsday cults. Like if
I
you're
don't
not a
know. Like
doomsday cult, you're not a good.
I don't know. I think okay, so a couple of ones I kind of dig onto for cults. My current favorite one is Nexum, the
Oh,
NXIVM.
Nexium, yeah, Nexium.
Nexum is some fucked up shit. I mean, they're like I like or like they're like all right, cool. We're going to take Scientology and just just make it like the dark Scientology. So all they did was like did all the crazy shit like as far as recruiting and everything like that Scientology does, but we're just gonna make it a sex cult, an obvious sex cult. But they,
Oh, I love that they use the word DOS. I love that.
yeah, yeah, I know, right? I know, just like
I
they're
love it.
fucked up. And the fact is, they actually recruited some really prominent people, like this, like the heir to the Seagram's fortune, and then like Allison Mack, who was like on Smallville, and
Yeah.
shit like that. And like, in fact, Allison
Uh,
Mack went to jail. It's, I mean, it's like Nexum's like my current like more. I don't want to say favorite because favorite just sounds like a bad thing to say with things like cults, but it's like more like one of the
Yeah,
ones I
yeah,
find
I
more
guess you're right,
interesting.
but still, I have my
I
favorites. Whatever.
I go one of the ones I find the most interesting currently is that one because not only that they get into the sex trafficking and they brand all the women, uh,
yeah.
shit like that. It gets really crazy and dark, but in that kind of
Yeah,
fun
and
kind
we
of
talked
Hollywood
about the
sort of way.
one the woman was they they were just carrying around her corpse for a while, and they painted her face with glitter and silver and stuff,
What was the big one? What was the
and okay, the thing that got me into cults was Heaven's Gate because
Heaven's
it
Gate?
happened while I was
Yes.
alive.
Yes.
It happened
Yeah, the
while I was
Star
alive,
Children.
dude. Like I want some of those fucking Nikes, the purple shroud. Like I remember walking out my front door and looking at the Hale-Bopp comet. So like once that happened, like it was like all connected and everything. Yeah, I remember all that shit. So like that was the thing that really
Uh,
got me into cults.
I was more familiar with the Branch Davidians is right when I was just getting into college, and so that
Yeah,
really hit
no,
me
Branch
harder.
Davidians. I remember watching that on TV, man. Like,
What a
Yeah, I was in
wild thing to
college, like
watch on
literally, like
TV.
when I was in college, they literally, because I was going to school at the University of Texas at Arlington, and they pulled TVs out to put in all the break rooms and stuff like that, where kids would walk through, so people could watch the siege happen. No matter where you are, you saw a TV going on with the siege of the Branch Davidian compound. It's crazy, and of course,
yeah,
you
no,
know, you
I mean,
had,
I definitely remember that one. I was too young to care about what was actually happening. I cared about what I was seeing.
yeah.
So I wasn't listening to the TV announcer saying they were weird religious zealots. I remember the names that was I kind of explained it in the worst way possible. But yeah, like, but no, Heaven's Gate was the one that was like, okay, I'm seeing this in front of me. This is an amazing phenomenon, but these people took it way further than I thought would ever happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Heaven's Gate was like they weren't the People's Temple, aka Jim Jones, like level yet, but the impact that they left after was definitely on the same level. Like
I
100%.
don't know. I kind of disagree with that only because it's but it also just comes down to like there's so much weird cultural relevance that comes from Jonestown that doesn't hasn't really hit for the Heaven's Gate as of yet. Because
That's
while
fair,
you still,
yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr. Muggs.
Yeah.
yeah, and like even the
Mr.
fact is that
Muggs
even
was
with
the chimpanzee that the Jonestown kept as a pet that they killed along with the all the followers. They
yeah,
shot Mr. Muggs in the back of the head.
I guess Jeff, with you saying that, I guess I will retract my statement actually, and you are correct on that. It isn't as impactful in my mind. It kind of is, but like I definitely agree with you that it wasn't.
I mean
Just
it's
because
still very big, it's still very big and huge. Don't get me wrong,
Mm,
but I think even though it's a misquote, but it's still the fact is that the quote happens because of Jonestown. It's about drinking the Kool Aid.
yeah,
It is
mm,
Flavor Aid, but it's still that still stems from that.
I guess we should drink our
yeah,
Kool Aid currently.
yeah, and yeah, exactly. Cheers. And fucking like Jonestown was pretty trusted for a long time up until that happened. Like it was like okay, this is like up until like towards the end when like families started reaching out to their family members back in America. They were like, all right, guys, this is getting weird, and I can't leave. They're not letting me leave. I want to leave, but they won't let me. That's when all the scrutiny started happening, and that's when like things were already spiraling, but that was just like the straw that fucked the camel's ass. Um,
Yeah, that was such
But
a
man, we
fun
could
time.
talk for hours about cults. I love
Well,
Oh
cults.
it's
yeah,
yeah, like cult. I think cults will be another subject we're going to get into deep as far as
it'll
like
be
that.
fun.
Today we're talking about weird internet shit beyond that.
So I can
But
bring us back. I can bring us back.
yeah,
I
let's
just
bring us
looked at
back.
I just looked at because I'm running out 20 of the internet's craziest conspiracies. Number 1, the Beatles never existed. Oh, this is good. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. The Beatles were a fake band staffed by a revolving cast of almost identical actors. Luckily, one website has set out to shine a light on the physical discrepancies between each stand-in member. If you often find yourself reading sentences like, it's interesting to note that there were different sizes, shapes, and styles of eyebrows over the years, and nodding vigorously, then this is the website for you. And man, it's a stretch, but
Man, I feel like we should do an episode about that, about just like the dumbest conspiracies we can find. We've kind of done that before, and man, I still cannot find anything about Elvis shot Kennedy. But god damn, I remember seeing that T-shirt a lot when I was a kid.
Oh no, actually, guess what? You can go to doubleshour.threadless.com and buy your own Elvis Shot Kennedy T-shirt.
nice.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Actually, I'm going to do that after the show.
Oh, actually, here, Chris, I got you. Elvis Presley was the second shooter in the John F. Kennedy assassination. He hid in the grassy knoll in the front and to the right of the president's vehicle and fired the fourth shot, while Lee Harvey Oswald shot 3 times from above. 2 different bullets hit John F. Kennedy and Connolly. I will send you the
Holy
link to
shit,
his
you
website.
found it! Oh my god!
It is
Drop in our group
interesting.
chat.
Yeah,
Drop that
I
in
got
our
you.
group chat.
It's just some like flow charts and random little stuff, but it's definitely interesting.
Oh my god! Like I
Oh.
remember seeing that. Like I saw that shirt like West Fest with my family as a kid. I saw it like the Pride Parade, like as a kid walking around with my folks. Like just remember seeing like T-shirts of just Elvis shot Kennedy, and it just stuck with me. And I've never been able to find shit about it.
Oh, hold on. Have you ever searched Etsy for the words Elvis shot JFK? Because I just did.
No.
Oh man, there's some good stuff. There's a literal shirt with like just all these shoot. Oh man, I'll have to send this to the group chat. But yeah, this is an interesting one too. Well, let's keep on topic. The Beatles. Like, do you guys believe that the Beatles exist?
Yes, I mean,
I've heard the music. It's not great, but yeah, like
I
guess you
am
don't
a
need to be
big
talented to make
fan.
the music they made. Oh,
I'm a big fan, but you know,
I
just not a fan of the Beatles.
there's plenty of evidence that shows they existed. Uh, Now they had the whole talk about the Paul died years ago, and it's a doppelganger taking his place, which
Yeah, I know
that's
the doppelganger thing.
we talked about that before. Both the doppelgangers and with our music deaths, and I think even yeah. But as far as the band itself, no, it really existed. Somebody just watched that dumb movie that happened a year or two ago, but the guy hits his head and wakes up to a world where the Beatles never existed. So he just started playing their songs and became the biggest musician ever. Uh,
That's fair.
but
Yeah, it
that
was just an
I
interesting
feel
one.
like if that happened and he actually went to clubs and started playing the Beatles music, people would be like, "The fuck is wrong? Get this guy off the stage."
well, the thing is, like, I would say like music would have been very different had the Beatles not existed, though.
No, marketing theory would have been different, not music theory.
Yeah.
Now, dude, that Revolver record alone makes it worthwhile because you listen to the transition as far as what they were doing shit that nobody else was doing then. Nobody was doing back.
marketing.
Yeah, no. Nobody was doing
Was that
back
a
tape
Holly?
looping. Nobody was doing back tape looping and shit like that before them.
I am a huge I'm not a fan of the Beatles by any means, other than Across the Universe, which is the Beatles, but it's redone. But I definitely respect and appreciate and feel grateful for what they did for music in general.
Yeah,
And
even if it's
not
not your
only music,
gig.
just marketing and bringing bands from other countries worldwide. Like they were one of not the first, but they were one of the first bands that did that, you know? They
Oh yeah, no, they
transcended
did great for
continents.
marketing and media and everything. Like yeah, like the marketing campaign for the Beatles. That's why everybody liked the Beatles because their music. Like if you listen to the music, it's pretty basic music.
It's relatable.
It's not great. It's not bad. I'm not a fan of it. It's not my style. I like talking shit about the Beatles because it riles people up. But yeah, like it was a marketing play and it worked and it's still working.
Yeah, that was just the first one that popped up, and it was definitely an interesting
And that's
one.
why the monkeys were invented.
The monkeys were created. That was a true. That is an actual true thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
You could go like the two that are still alive are touring right now, and you could add they even are aware that yes we we they existed. They were a completely created band, and then they figured out that wait we're much better than this. We can just be a band, and but the producers didn't want that to happen, and they wanted to make a song that they didn't. They wanted to record a song that they didn't want to record, and so they balked. And then so they go, all right, cool. If you're not going to record the song, show's canceled. Oh, and then we're gonna
It
just
just
create these.
sounds so. You're like the two of them that are still touring.
No, they're still alive. Two of them are dead.
Oh, so I well, when I worked at IHOP, God, fuck, that was maybe like 2006, 2004, something like that. I don't know. The Ohio players came through. Well, like four of them, and they couldn't afford to really tip me, so they signed they autographed a photo for me.
Hey, roller coaster.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that song. Like it fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers did it justice, and yeah, they were super
Oh
cool
man.
dudes. But yeah, like it always when old bands do that, it makes me think of that time when it's like, man, y'all are at IHOP, count change to be able to pay for this meal. Like,
Do y'all know
I
the conspiracy about that song by chance?
oh, the
the
person that was killed,
love roller
Yeah.
coaster.
you
Yeah.
can hear the scream in the background. Yeah,
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's debunked. It was literally one of the interns being yelled at by a producer. I want to say is what actually happened, and they just kept it. I think that's what it was. But it was something along those lines.
so
Um,
we're getting pretty close to the end now. I think I have one more for y'all, unless y'all got a quick one.
Oh, Chris Broken in the chat says that some flat Earth sites claim that koala bears don't exist.
believe that.
That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
That's all I got
Nothing
on
can
I've
be
there.
heard
that.
that.
Nothing can be that cute and cuddly,
Oh, they're horrible, horrible
Okay,
beasts that are riddled with
other than
chlamydia.
other
So
than scabs.
yeah, yeah. I'm one of them. I'm one of them trash koalas, minus the chlamydia.
All right, what you got, Chris?
So okay, this was from addictioncenter.com for you guys. Conspiracy theory addiction is a behavioral addiction that can have a hidden impact on the way you perceive events and has been linked to having more negative attitudes. Rather than helping one cope with their negative feelings, the belief in conspiracy theories can create a cycle of distrust and torment. As a person encounters different sources, it is important to be able to analyze the information and distinguish between false theories and real threats. People strongly believe in conspiracy theories and become addicted may experience some of the following: feeling anxious or fearful for no particular reason, feeling a loss of control, a need to make sense of complex topics or unrelated events, even with little or no topical knowledge, low self esteem, strong urge to make connections between a series of unrelated events or behaviors, belief in paranormal explanations for scientific phenomena, a sense of not being, a sense of not belonging or isolation, a great alienation, disengagement, or disaffection from society. If the presence of the previous feelings and behaviors significantly impact a person's ability to function in their daily lives, they may have a conspiracy theory addiction.
Well, good to know I have that. Thanks, man. I have an anxiety. No.
so
Like me, I
talk to
thought
your
this was
doc.
a good show, and now I'm just dying.
So talk to your doctor. Grab some Paxil. It'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we only bang Zoloft
Yeah.
in this house. Come
No,
on
but that
now.
was one of the
Get the
things
good
I came
shit.
across when I was looking for conspiracy theories. Like after like typing the word see like 7 times, this popped up, and I was like, oh fuck. Like,
The
Jesus.
internet
I
knows.
got
The internet knows.
I got one very quick one that is very easy
All
to
right.
explain and
Yeah.
very, very interesting, I feel like. So we all know the surface web. We have Google, Wikipedia, and all that. And then right under that, you have the deep web, which
Ask
is
Jeeves.
yeah, exactly.
Bing!
Well, what was the other one? I can't remember it. Dogpile.com. Yeah. So after that, you have what's called the deep web, which is academic information, medical records, legal documents, blah blah blah, government information. And then under that, you have the dark web, which is illegal stuff, Tor, drug trafficking and all that. Well, there's a belief that beyond that, everybody knows that the Marianas Trenches is the deepest part of the ocean that we know of. They believe that there might be a thing called the Marianas Web. So the Marianas Web is, in very layman's terms, and there are several videos that go in depth on this, and it's very confusing. But in layman's terms, it is a sub part of the internet that is AI driven, that controls what information goes where on the internet. So as the internet is built, it is data, it is networks, it is cables, it is all that. But not only are we creating software to regulate that and to make that happen, there's a belief that the Marianas Web is controlling everything. And I may be saying that in very simplified terms, but there is definitely a belief that the darkest part of the internet is the Marianas Web. And it is interesting. You'd have to, it's a very hard thing to communicate without just, paragraphs and paragraphs of what it's actually
Dude, I can
supposed to
barely
be.
conceive as to what like the dark web is. So like this is just blowing my mind because I can't even conceive.
I can simplify the dark web for you right now in about 10 words. Okay, you're in a forest, right? And the forest
What's
is,
that?
is you're in a forest, right? And the forest has
Uh-huh.
trees, it's dark and everything.
Mhm.
If you bury yourself under that forest, that's the dark web. So no one can find you in that once you're buried. But even if you were just in the forest, you're still kind of hidden. So the dark web is the part where you're super unfindable. And that's what the dark web is. It's essentially just,
Okay.
oh, I'm anonymous at best. And it's
Mhm.
where Hitman and Red Rooms and Silk Road are and stuff like that. But I could go in,
Yeah.
I could talk about that for hours. But yeah, the Marianas Web is an interesting one. It's not real. I'll be honest, it's not. It's not real. There's no way. Like, let's be real. Let's talk tech for a sec. You would have to create a machine, would have to be created to do that, first of all, and that doesn't exist. You're talking tens of hundreds of quantum computers working together to do something like that. Those, I mean, yes, we have quantum computing, but like, no. But it is, again, a conspiracy, and
It's
conspiracies
a
are
good
weird.
story.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like Scabs just taking it and going, and what? And it's not real. Ah!
I'm sorry for the cock tease, man. Like I truly
No, I
am.
mean,
Like
like even if it was real, I probably would have had like the same reaction because like it's still like it's like how do I get past Google? Like where do I go? Like
how you get past Google is you download what's called the Tor browser and you just go wild. But then the FBI knocks on your door the next day and go, "Hey, man, you can't watch two chickens fuck a worm. Like you just can't. It's not good. Like it just doesn't
Like
work,
this,
man."
Scabs goes, I can watch two chickens fuck a worm?
See, and there's a reason I didn't say spiders because he would already be. We would be able to hear his fingers on those keys flying right now, and I don't want to put him out there.
Yeah, no, he's doing it right now. Yeah, we're just about out of time.
That's how we end the show.
We end the show with the FBI showing up at Scabs' house. Um,
I just googled to fuck a worm, and it and it came up with. Did you mean two chicks fuck a worm?
If
No,
that
motherfucker,
isn't
I meant chickens.
if that
How do
isn't the
chickens
perfect way to
control
end
and
this.
temperament of worms in chickens? Ever wonder about worm sex? Like
What? Anyways, thank you guys, everybody watching the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna do this again because it's the internet. It's infinite. There's gonna be weird shit we're gonna find all the time. So we'll bring Phil Screamer at some point, and we're gonna talk weird shit this time. This time, I'm recording on my computer versus off something else. So in theory, this should exist later on, and everything
Hacks
like
in your
that.
computer.
As I say this until we're done, and then I went, where the fuck did this episode go? But thank you guys so much. Let's get some plugs out of the way. Scabs, you got anything you want to plug?
I will be at a benefit show on Sunday at Union Tavern, doing stuff. It's from 5 to midnight. I have no idea what time I'm going on. It's for someone's family. Something bad happened to them. Somebody reached out to me, and I was like, I like charity. Yeah, cool. I'll come out and do some stuff. So yeah, Union Tavern. It's off 45 somewhere. 45
in
South.
Houston, Texas, for people who are not
Houston,
watching
Texas,
this.
yeah.
One. Yeah.
Or no. I don't care where you live. Just go 45 South. You'll find it.
That's probably true. Go far enough. Yeah. Yeah. Phil, you got anything you want to plug?
Go see Scabs the Clown perform. Go check out Holy Water Enema on SoundCloud. Go check out previous episodes of Gaffing the Truth and the Devil's Power Hour or the Devil's Hour.
It's just the Devil's Hour. Yeah.
The Devil's Power
the Devil's
Hour.
yeah.
I'm pretty kinky.
That's the religious part of it. Yeah, my bad. I don't want to put that out. That's not out yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Go check out the Devil's Hour from Jeff too.
All right. So on my end, I'll get my plugs out of the way. Then we'll get out of here. So right after this, we'll be showcasing a fun movie. I'm doing The Most Dangerous Game, which is a lot of fun. Then tomorrow, Planet Liston will be showcasing a really cool band from Toronto called the Electric Dead. Then I'll have a brand new episode of The Devil's Hour after that. Thursday, I've got a really fun classic G-spot where I'm talking with Kali von Wunderkammer. It was a good friend of mine, and Scabs is from the Great Southern Section Hootenanny. In addition to that, if you go, everybody's watching this now or later or whenever you're watching this, make sure you follow Old Humble Guy on Twitch or go to the Old Humble Distilling Company on YouTube. Follow both of those pages because they're having their 100th episode of the Quarantine Happy Hour this Thursday, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm dropping in for a couple of minutes to tell some dumb stuff and probably do some dumb stunt or two. Next week, I think our plan is to talk to
hit him up. I'm down to do that too.
I'll talk to Joe. So next week, everything's kind of tentative right now because I am moving and I'm doing a slow drive from Austin all the way to New York City. So depending on how the internet is on my trip, will depend on what happens. There may or may not be stuff this next week from the channel, and if not, we'll see you guys the following week. But just keep track of all our socials. Go to Carney Show on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams, so you'll see all the stuff going on. Everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Scabs. And thank you. So everybody be cool, be safe, be groovy, and as always, keep drinking, everybody.